I'm not going to ask you to hear me out on this one because you have to hear me out. 6-7 has its roots in the Bible. You know, people think that it was Jesus who said to John, you need to catch however many, 153 fish. Now, that number was actually used to predict the end of the world by Harold Camping, saying it would be May 21st, 2011. That date came and went, but you can only imagine how many doomsday predictions will be made with a number as massive as 6-7. I have cousins that are in middle and high school who constantly reference 6-7, although they say 41 and 96 respectively are bigger now, more massive. But 6-7's cultural impact cannot be overstated. The videos originally explaining this meme were from 6 or 7 months ago. Things like this don't usually hang around for that long. Ask any preschool, elementary, middle, or high school teacher in your life. 6-7 is still massive. Ever since I was put on to 6-7 and 4-1 just over the weekend, it has changed my life. This weekend was the 6th and the 7th of September. It made its way into an NFL broadcast.
Side for another 6-7. 6-7. No.
If the world were to end in 67 days from now, you'd feel pretty stupid for not taking this video seriously. Numerology, in fact, dates back to the beginning of humanity, trying to find angel numbers to predict the future. Nostradamus said all of this, and you can really look there to get started. But 6-7 and 4-1, and in many ways 9-6, are the next in the long line of numerological occultism. One thing you should keep on your radar is 6-8. Now that 6-7 is massive, and 6-9 is nice and also a rapper, 6-8 should be the next number to have its blow up. One thing about 6-7 that you won't see from the children is that one day those children will grow up and they will always remember 6-7. You could be at a barber shop in 50, 60, 70 years, depending on how old you are, and someone drops, that'll be $67. You paid for a pretty good haircut. And you'll be like, wait, I remember that from somewhere. And all of a sudden, 6-7 is massive once again. If you bring something like Michael Jackson or Bruce Springsteen up to your parents, they will of course remember what that is, remember it fondly. But those two people started as a fad, probably in their childhood or teenage years. Why should 6-7 be any different? If you look closely on Michelangelo's sculpture of Moses, you can kind of make out a 6-7 on there. Is it possible that this number is a lot older than we think? Now, I've been reading into Ancient Aliens recently, and I want to put on your radar that 6-7 could have a cosmetological impact on humanity. If you take the 6 and turn it upside down, and take the 7 and turn it upside down, you get 9L, which is a lot of years of law school, a lot more years you should have been. Think of how well an ancient, all-knowing alien that we might perceive as God, think of how much law they know, right? They didn't just go to 3L, they went past all the way to 9L, which is triple that, which we know 3 is a magic number. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the 3 prongs of the Shin that makes up the first letter of the Shema. It can go really as far as you're willing to look, but I've seen a lot of people dismissing this as kind of a Gen Alpha fad or a tick of some sort, but I think you're really missing the point with 6-7. It's not about where it came from. It's not even about where it's going. It's about the impact it has on you right now. Now, you might be trying to understand 6-7 if you're my age. And I was once like you just over the weekend when I was first put on to 6-7. But the more I've researched, making a video like this is not out of the ordinary for me, even though it is not what you guys requested for me today. But go away. 6-7 can show up in cell biology, in molecules. You think of fractals, you think of how many branches a thing can have. Now think of the branches of 6-7. 6-7 Kid, Mr. 6-7, who won Handshake of the Week at his summer camp, or Most Aura at summer camp. Find all instances of 6-7 in literature and come back to me. Look at your vitamins, look at your pill bottles. Check how deep it goes. Because I think a lot of you are being a little short-sighted here with 6-7, calling it a fad, calling it brain rot. And I hate that term, brain rot. Brain is brain, as L. Ron Hubbard once said. And you can check his books on Dianetics and Scientology itself for several references to this, but that's a video for another day. What we need is kind of a unified field theory of 6-7. Why was 6 afraid of 7? You've been told it's because 7, 8, 9. But that's not the story I want to give you today. Why was 6 afraid of 7? It's something that shows up a lot everywhere in all of our books and all of our religions and cultures. Could it be that when you plug in the ancient aliens, you plug in the end of the world predictions of May 11th, 2011, you distill it down to one kind of root of 6-7, 6 atoms, 6 nuclei, 7 electrons, right? Some kind of a magnetic attraction we have towards 6 and towards 7. It's numbers that come after each other. When the ancient aliens come down and they give us our numerological system, 6 was put in front of 7. Now, why not 7 in front of 6? Now that's a question. That's something, sometimes I make these and I shock even myself. Why is 6 preceding 7? I want you guys to kick that around in the comment section down below. But we've only just begun our dive into what this means, what it could mean. Thank you for watching Joeybar, where we explore the arcane in religion, philosophy, 6-7.
2 hours later, people were still subscribing to Joeybar.
You're still doing it.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I can't stop.